And so try to think of it like that. Never feel like, oh, don, ta, do, don. I know that pattern, right? Because there's different levels of knowing it. There's knowing it, and then there's knowing it with the quarter note pulse, and there's knowing it, being able to subdivide it in threes in your head. There's knowing it, with the shime part, and all those things. Like I feel like a lot of times in groups we stop at like that very first, when you got that first thread through, and you can run all the way through the song. It's like, oh, we're done, but we don't spend the time to like weave all those together, and that's what we're going to be doing now that we have a good chunk of the song, known, quote unquote. Now we can really start working on it, and we'll break it apart like this and relearn all apart.
Something else that Chris said that makes sense is that usually like the odaiko player in the back is just keeping the quarter note pulse, like don, 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 don. So it makes sense to be able to say that out loud and know how your hands are fitting in with that, and as long as you can do that, you're golden when you have to perform over an odaiko beat.
Day 3 of STI.
What did we do this morning?
Well, we finished learning the song that we've been learning, and wait, we did something before that. Are you still filming?
We learned about dynamics.
Yeah, dynamics with Kelvin. Thinking about bachi height, or using more or less weight for bachi and falling action to determine, different levels you want in your dynamics, and setting those levels.
Okay, it's good. So stay here. So now you're better at this than your average do by a long shot. What we can start to do is, if we're not exaggerating enough our error, we make it longer. So Maz is now going to stay out for 2. You're going to do out 2. Then Haida out by her lonesome. We're going to see if you match on that hit, right? So now you have another count where you're totally on your own. Does that make sense? Oh, okay. So after the pause, yeah, give us the first hit after the pause, and we'll see if you match. Ish, ni, sa, hai. Wow, nicely done. Okay, we're going to lengthen. That was great. Now, Maz, you're going to stay out until after the next loud section.
I'll come in on the soft.
Come in on the soft section. Does that make sense? Here we go. We're going to add one. Go ahead. Oh, sorry, Maz. Can you do a different tempo? It's got to be different every time because Haidai knows this kind of now, right? You got to change it up. Sorry, Ich, ich, sa, hai. Right, so rushing, right? Yeah, and I mean, to me, I thought maybe you're gonna come in late. Yeah, so the more you can add as much of this as you need, and no one's gonna be able to stay out for a minute and a half and come in, right? So you just keep exaggerating this. So the ways that we exaggerated were, right, smaller groups where your errors, your timing errors are more pronounced. One person is sort of the most pronounced, and then you can take out your guideposts, yeah, for longer periods of time, and then bring it back. Does that make sense? Okay.
And the structure of the song is pretty complicated. It goes, oh, that's a drawing of my flip-flops.
Would you like me to explain it verbally?
Okay, so how are we gonna make home?
Where is it? Oh, 5 2 3 4 1 6 1 4 3 2 5 2 3 4 3 2 5. But really, it's just like this. And then you go backwards, and then you go forward 3, and then back to the beginning. Yep.
I want to say it really was an honor and a privilege to spend some time with all of you. Personally, I just had a really good time getting to know you better. You all have really wonderful talents, and I was actually really interested in how we have people that have been playing for a long time and people that haven't been playing for a long time. And within that, people have individual strengths and weaknesses. So the person that was having the most difficult time with timing wasn't necessarily the person who was doing it. The person that had the best form wasn't necessarily the person that has been doing Taiko the longest. It's a really complicated thing because Taiko has so many different elements to it. It's so, there's just so complicated. And it's really fascinating to see how every one of you has something that's really, really great about Taiko. Reminding me why we picked up on that. So thank you all for being here. You guys did a great job.
So first off, I'd just like to say thank you guys for taking time off of your busy, crazy schedules to come down here and spend 3 days and just play Taiko. I wish we could do this like every day. Like Chris was saying, like each of you have something valuable to bring back to your groups now. Each one of you have been playing Taiko for maybe a short time or a long time. But now that you saw us break down this song into so many different levels, that's what I would like to see with every Taiko group do, is to really understand how to make a song work, or how in various aspects, right? There's one, the few things we did was like timing and articulation and form, and what else did we do? A little bit of soloing and stuff. So take all these things and break down your other songs, or if you're writing a song, make sure that people understand how do you want this to be felt within the timing aspect of it. Shoji has been doing something for us where we do the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and and we try to say and play our parts as we do that, and it makes sense, yeah. And then more often than not, it does help, yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard. It takes a little while for us to get it, but in the end, it does really help. Okay. So take these back to your groups. Share it with other people. Yeah. This song is short, but like Shoji said, it's open for interpretation. That's the thing. Also, thing about Omiyage that I wanted to say earlier was that it's a really hard piece, and when you bring people in to teach them, if it's too hard for your group, make it more simple. Yeah, make it more simple. If this piece is too hard for some of you guys to play, make it simple. All right, you don't have to do every single beat or every single bar or whatever.